They struggle to actually find young people to do work, and of course housing is a problem and healthcare is a problem, as was mentioned earlier. The hospital here gets closed quite frequently. Nothing to do with vaccinations, I don't believe. It's a doctor issue. It's more a shortage of doctors. So what do you do in the meantime? I mean, you've got lots of plans for building houses, etc. But in the sort of immediate spectrum, what do you do to
create a blue seal test to quickly license the 20,000 immigrant doctors we have in Canada? Many of them are prevented from ever working, and they give up on getting a job as a doctor, and they end up taking low-wage work for the rest of their lives. I'm proposing a simple blue seal testing standard that would apply right across Canada. Take the test, get the license, get to work within 60 days.
Okay, and I mean that obviously you're going to encounter some opposition from the College of Medicine, etc., across the provinces.
Yeah,
so how do you deal with that issue?
We push forward. There's not easy street leads to a dead end. Best hard roads lead to the best destinations. We're no longer going to accept that this or that gatekeeping bureaucracy stands in the way of obvious common sense solutions. It is unacceptable that 20,000 doctors can't work in Canada when we have a massive shortage. And when people come to me and say, yeah, but this or that clerk or bureaucracy is not going to be happy, that's life.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of vested interests in bureaucracies that are going to be very unhappy when I'm Prime Minister.
Okay. On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist.
I love this guy, Pierre Poilievre. I'm probably botching his name, but I love this guy, folks. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back, one and all. You're watching the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. I'm your doctor. My name is Dr. Nasser Sheikh, and what's on tap for today? Well, you saw Pierre, folks. How to win friends and influence people by giving an interview and chomping on an apple. That's right, folks. That's the way you do it. Unbelievable. Taking the questions, listening intently. This guy is the Donald Trump of Canada. He's a Ronald Reagan, folks. I mean, I love his slogans, his catchy little phrases. Unbelievable. The way that he handles this interview and just takes it in stride. And I'm telling you what, the media up in Canada, liberal leftist media, they can't stand it. But I'm telling you what, folks, this guy, watch out for him. Unbelievable. Let's continue with the interview. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. Let's continue on.
Pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Like what? Tell me a little bit more. Give me something. Just don't blurt stuff out there and just don't have the verbal diarrhea with me, okay? Give me some examples. Guy, is he going to be able to do so? Let's see.
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological spectrum.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways, I don't
really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but
well, you're the one who asked the question, so yeah. You must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep.
Give me the page number. I need the page number. Page 1, page 5, page 10. What page number? Come on, flip. Give me the quote. Hurry up.
In terms of turning things quite dramatically, in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this, I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not sure. I don't know what your question is.
Okay, then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense. Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. You know, the guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I am the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck. Second, I'm going to make work pay. Right now we punish work. You know, they're asking, why doesn't anybody want to work? Because work doesn't pay. Why would you work when you get punished for working? Our country now punishes work. You make it, Trudeau takes it. I'm going to cut taxes so people bring home more of each dollar they earn. Housing. We have the fewest houses per capita in the G7. Why? Too much bureaucracy. We have the land. We have more land than any other country in the G7. Yet why do we have the fewest houses per capita? Because you can't get anything built. I'm going to require cities boost home building by 15% per year, or they're going to lose federal money. But those that beat my target will get a bonus. So we reward good behavior and punish bad. That's common sense too. We're also going to bring home...
I said 2 points. Very well taken. Like he talks about common sense, folks. Common sense. Ronald Reagan talked about common sense. That's the difference. Just because, you go to one of those elite colleges and you've got book smarts doesn't mean diddly freaking squat. It doesn't. Common sense. How many times have you heard when they send out a supervisor out in the field? He's never been out there before, but he comes out there, tells the workers what to do, and the workers go, guy, that's just not going to work. And he says, oh, listen, I've got a master's degree, I've got a PhD degree, I know exactly what I did. I did a bunch of drawings, I did a bunch of labs in college, and, did everything for my master's and PhD. I know how this thing is done. And they set it up, and it doesn't work. And they say, told ya. And they're like, and the guys, and these people are thinking, like, what could have gone wrong? Well, maybe it's because you weren't out in the field. Common sense. If it doesn't pay to work, if you get punished for working, what's the use of working extra hard if you can't get punished for it? I mean, this is unbelievable. This guy's making total common sense. And did you see how the guy, when people are asking, the media is out there, I don't know, they say an apple away will keep the doctor away, but here, will the apple a day keep the media at bay? I don't think so. Let's continue on.
Safe streets. People are going to feel safe in Kelowna. Kelowna is the worst crime in all of Canada after 8 years of Trudeau and Singh. And I'm going to get rid of I'm going to bring in jail and not bail for repeat violent offenders, treatment and not decriminalize crack, to bring our loved ones home drug-free, and we're going to secure the borders to keep illegal guns out while protecting the rights of lawful, licensed hunters and sport shooters.
Going back to the drug issue, are you looking at to put any money into treatment? Because that's obviously one of the big things identified.
Absolutely, and that's a great idea. It's the only way out. Treatment is the answer. We need to bring people into beautiful treatment facilities. I think...
Beautiful treatment facilities, big, huge, beautiful treatment centers. Have we heard this talk from anyone before? Don't know. Was it maybe President Trump?
Of one facility I visited in Winnipeg recently, where the father of a young man who died of an overdose has created a beautiful facility where they separate the addicts from their addiction, counseling, yoga, sweat lodges for First Nations, a fitness program, a job placement after they leave, and they're building housing right attached to the facility, so that when they graduate, we don't just throw them back out on the street. We put them in supportive housing where they can come back, get some exercise in the gym, see a counselor, and mentor incoming addicts so that they can have a nice, smooth runway to lift off again into a drug-free life.
This is obviously going to...
It's all going to cost a lot of money. This is what the leftists want. This is their orgasmic dream when they talk about, well, what about, money for addicts? What about money for, trying to help people rehabilitate and get on with their lives and get rid of the drug situation that's, just taking over every single 24-hour, day, 7 days a week for these people. He just gave you an unbelievable what he wants to do. Of course it's going to take money, and that's what you think taxes are. Take it from one area of the tax place where you're not going to spend it on this side here. The money is there, you just got to find it. But these yahoos in liberal media, even though we gave them a beautiful answer with beautiful housing, here they come. Where's the money gonna come from?
Costs quite a bit, and there's staffing issues involved in this, presumably.
Yes. So my plan on that is I have a dollar for dollar principle. Every new dollar I spend will have to be matched with a dollar of savings. So I'm going to cut the money that Trudeau government is spending on giving out high-powered opioids. They call it safe supply. It's now clear that it's just being diverted and sold to kids to profit drug dealers and pay for fentanyl. Since this experiment began in BC, we've seen a 300% increase in drug overdose deaths, and 30,000 have died nationwide. I'm going to get rid of that program, put the money into treatment, not new drug handouts. I'm going to stop funding activists and bureaucracies and put it into frontline treatment. And finally, I'm going to sue the big the corrupt pharmaceutical companies who caused the crisis in the first place by flooding the market with OxyContin, which ultimately caused the people to become addicted right across North America. The Americans have now recovered $54 billion. We've covered almost nothing in Canada. So I want to recover those billions and put that money into treatment.
Okay, and just going back to cutting taxes and whatnot,
Bite of the apple again, folks. Way to conduct the interview. Crunch, crunch, munch, munch.
Where would you do you have any targets already in terms of where you would make cuts?
Defund the CBC, save $1 billion, get rid of the ArriveCan app, reduce the monstrous contracting out, stop sending our money to foreign dictators, to terrorists, and to international bureaucracies that waste it on themselves, and bring that money home. We're also going to cap spending so the government doesn't grow, and we're going to use the savings to lower the debt and the taxes.
And who are the dictators and terrorists that Canada is currently giving money to?
Well, President Xi in China gave $250 million to the Asian Infrastructure Bank, which is building pipelines that we don't allow to be built here. He's building them in Asia, bridges, other Asian projects that are designed to reestablish the ancient Silk Route of the Chinese Empire. Why would we pay to establish some kind of imperial Silk dynasty with Canadian tax dollars for a communist dictatorship? It's insane. So we want to stop these kinds of giveaways and bring the money home to our own country and our people.
So I'm guessing with you as Prime Minister, relations with China would be a bit rockier than they are currently.
Well, I think they're very rocky right now. It's just that they're the ones, the dictatorship in Beijing is the one in charge. They're basically dominating our Prime Minister and exercising influence against our country. I'm going to stand up for Canada because this is our country and our home.
Folks, like I said before, I love this guy. He's unbelievable. Pierre Poilievre. I know I'm just completely messing up that name or whatever. But, he gave absolute brilliant answers to everything that this, I'm sure one of the media guys in the Canadian news, and as he was doing it, we all saw it, the voice wasn't rising up, wasn't getting upset, he wasn't getting down on me. Just basically when the reporter asked him a question and said, hey, these people, what people? Oh, they're saying it in this thing. What thing? Oh, I read it. Where did you read it? Oh, what page did you see it on? And then succinctly, boom, here's what I'm going to do. You bring up a question, where's the money going to come from? Here's where it's going to come from. We'll divert it from someplace. We'll put it in someplace else. All things going against China. These are the same things that Donald Trump was talking about and was able to implement in his first 4 years. And Pierre is basically taking that playbook and adding some other place to it that I think President Trump and the conservatives and the Republicans ought to take a look at as well. Well, folks, we thank you for taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your humble host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. You know what to do. I'll leave you with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right. And this guy, Pierre, he is so right. And when you're left, well, they're so wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.